Good afternoon on a sunny Friday afternoon from downtown Baltimore, Maryland. This is the Inner Harbor area, and it is a beautiful, crisp, clear day. I'm on a lunch break, and I'm just checking out the Inner Harbor today. I'm working up here today. Lots of great stuff going on. Can't miss an opportunity for a clear sky, sunny day. Let's take a look at the city here. So I'm on Pratt Street. I'm walking east toward the Inner Harbor. Hi, Daly. Hello. I know this is a lunchtime little jaunt I'm taking. It is cold, but it's just so sunny. I can't miss a sunny day. And we're in my hometown today. Good old Baltimore, Maryland. Home of the Orioles, the Ravens, Fort McHenry, the Star-Spangled Banner. And in a second, you'll see the USS Constellation, which is a frigate. And I love saying that word, frigate. But it is. It's a frigate in our harbor here. Lots of awesome reasons to visit Baltimore. Number one being our sports teams and our sports venues. In the spring and summer, the Baltimore Orioles at amazing Camden Yards. In the fall and the winter, our Ravens. But any time of year, lots of history here in Baltimore. So this intersection here, actually, I lie. The intersection up there, Charles Street, is the divider of East and West Baltimore. So east of Charles Street, all the numbers start with 0 and go east. West of Charles Street, all the street numbers begin and go west. The north-south divider is Baltimore Street, which is a few blocks up. Where am I? I'm in downtown Baltimore, Saeed. I'm at the beautiful Baltimore Inner Harbor on my lunch break. And the confluence of Charles Street and Baltimore Street is the absolute city center. But this is kind of the center. So that's the old USF&G building. And I'm so sorry, it's changed hands so many times. I don't know what it's called today. But in the oldie days, it was United States Fidelity and Guarantee, USF&G. Next to it, the Garmatz building, which is our federal courthouse. Up the street here, one of my favorites, the old Maryland National Building with the gold-plated decoration on top. And then a mix of architecture. Baltimore architecture is largely influenced by, in the row houses, the federal style. And then some of the buildings, some of the office buildings are in that Beaux-Arts style, kind of common to Baltimore, Philadelphia, all the East Coast cities in the United States. This is our Baltimore World Trade Center, this building here. And then this harbor area is just surrounded by hotels, the Renaissance hotels right there. And other buildings. This is where the main attractions are. Like when we have events, and the old city fair used to be down here. This used to be a fountain called the McKeldin Fountain. But it was disused and misused, so it was replaced with a park. And lots of hotels. There's the Hyatt and the Renaissance and other hotels around here. just a fun place to walk. Baltimore is it's not a flat city like Washington, D.C. When you're walking around the harbor, it's good for walking. If you're not, if you don't want a strenuous walk. When you get away from the harbor, especially north and east of the harbor, it is hilly. Patterson Park and Hampstead Hill were used as lookouts during the War of 1812. The famous Battle of Baltimore was fought here, and during that battle in 1814, Francis Scott Key wrote our national anthem because he saw the flag was still there. And Fort McHenry is kind of in the far distance, not too far, like a mile away, but we can't see it. What you can see there is Federal Hill, if you can see the flag there. Not Fort McHenry, but that's Federal Hill, another defensive outpost during all the various wars. Oh gosh, I've got 3 seconds. 1 second. I can do this. That's what happens when we don't pay attention. Okay. All good. All right. Sorry for walking so quickly. So yeah, this is the USS Constellation, a frigate in service during the War of 1812, I believe. Oh, someone will correct me on that. But used to intercept slave ships in the late 1800s. And a lot of history there on the USS Constellation. And during Hurricane Isabel, this water you see ahead of me was all the way up here. Hurricane Isabel pushed all the water out of our harbor. It was the combination of rain, high tide, and the wind that pushed the harbor all the way up here. It's the only time in my lifetime that I remember that happening, but I'm sure it's happened before. All right, and that's Federal Hill over there. We'll take a walk down to the Science Center along the harbor. There's our trade center. Oh, and back there is the National Aquarium. Tip-top, first class, amazing aquarium. Also has an indoor rainforest. Absolute great place to visit here in Baltimore. We'll get a good picture of that, and then we'll walk around the other way. Hi, Abe. Hope you're having a good Friday, Abe. Hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you're all having nice sunny days like I am here. Now, east of here, kind of behind the aquarium, is what's called Harbor East. And that's the newer developed area with a lot of restaurants. Really nice scene for hanging out. Here, this used to be the place to be. These shops really kind of fell out of favor, and many of them closed in these pavilions here. There's not much left. Couple of reasons. It's hard to park down here different times of day. And frankly, families stopped coming here because of the crime. Some of which is true. Others are manufactured and really magnified by the media that really makes Baltimore out to be this terrible place. I find Baltimore to be a fantastic place. Now you see there's a submarine right in front of the National Aquarium. That's the USS Torsk. It has definitely seen better days. If I'm correct, it was the last World War II era submarine that was decommissioned. So the last serving submarine from World War II. And then the light ship Chesapeake, which is a USS Coast Guard ship. And dragon boats, little dragon paddly boats that you can take out on the harbor. Here's a really good shot of the Constellation. And a really nice shot of the skyline behind the pavilion here. We'll take a quick walk over to the Science Center, and then I'll get back to work. But I'm glad to get a few steps in today and get outside. It's also Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I have some Valentine's treats for my parents in my car. Since I'm up here today, I'm dropping off some gourmet popcorn that they wanted. So, and they don't know that I stream, so I'm not spoiling the surprise. But I'll be taking some gourmet popcorn to Mom and Dad tonight. Daly, how cold is it where you are today? It's about 38 here today, so definitely the ice has melted, which is good, but it's really cold. Yeah, they're getting caramel popcorn, milk chocolate popcorn, some kind of spicy Cajun something or other that they wanted. So yeah, treats for the parents. -30. Oh, good. That's warm for you, isn't it, Daly? Wow. Sorry to hear that. I hope spring comes soon for you, Daly. There's the Ravens and the Orioles shop over there. And if you can see the Domino Sugar Factory, that neon sign is fantastic when it's lit up at night. That says Domino Sugar. We have a lot of really cool neon signs in the Baltimore skyline. We have Domino Sugar and we have Mr. Bo, the mascot of National Bohemian Beer, or Natty Bo. If any of you have heard of it, it's a Baltimore original. Cheap, good beer, Natty Bo. So we're at the Baltimore Inner Harbor. I'm sure there's an official outer harbor, but we've always only known the Inner Harbor. And there's a really good view. Okay, we're back. Sorry, someone was spam calling me. Can someone let me know if the stream came back? Because last time this happened, the stream did not come back. So let me know. Daly, let me know if the stream's back. Or is it spinning? Oh, good. Phew. Yeah, someone was trying to spam call me. Okay, now I am going to take a photo, so it might stop just for a second while I take. Okay, that's my thumbnail. I just took that photo there, which is a good one. Yeah, all these restaurants and shops are gone. This was most recently a Bubba Gump Shrimp. I hate chain restaurants. This used to be the old Phillips Seafood, which is a Baltimore staple. There were, there was a fudge factory in here. There was a really great fresh food market in here. There was all kinds of cool little shops years ago. But they're not here anymore. Everyone's moved over to Harbor East, this area here, where all the trendy restaurants and shops are, kind of away from the downtown area. But that's okay. Federal Hill is really great for screaming at children. Federal Hill is great for hiking up the hill. There's always joggers and runners going up and down the hill there. As I'm trying not to laugh at this child having a meltdown. But yeah, Federal Hill is great. The restaurants all here around the harbor, and all the yachts. All the wealthy among us who have their boats here. And on the other side of where the Constellation Energy building is, are other condos and moorings for boats. And down here straight ahead is the Maryland Science Center, where I spent a lot of time as a kid. What a great place. Super cool and fun. So if you're in Baltimore and you have kids, make sure you visit the Maryland Science Center and the National Aquarium, which is over there. And this is also a really good view. Check that out. And over there, where you see that little high rise, and you can kind of see those condos on the water. Those are the Ritz-Carlton. Those are out of my price range to have a waterfront view every day, which I would absolutely love. But we're not in that range for sure. All right, take a look at the Science Center. It does look cold. Although I wonder, the water's probably warmer than the air right now. So chosen, yes, the War of 1812 was fought right here. And on the top of Federal Hill, probably hard to see, there are cannon there. That was one of the defenses of Baltimore. And then just beyond that, what you can't see is Fort McHenry, which was the defense of Baltimore during the War of 1812. And in 1814, because the War of 1812 went from 1812 to 1814, the Baltimoreans, they beat back the Brits, who had already burned the United States Capitol and were coming up to take over Baltimore just to finish the job, right? The war was over, and they were just going to come and take over Baltimore. But the Baltimoreans fought back, and not only fought back, but Francis Scott Key was inspired while a prisoner of war on a ship in the harbor. The next morning after the fiercest battle, September 12th to September 14th, I think. September 12th, 1814. In the morning, he wondered if the flag was still there. And it was. And that inspired him to write our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see? Etc., etc. And the final verse, oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? He's asking the question. And he sees in the morning, or the land of the free and the home of the brave. And he sees it. And he sees that the flag is still there, which is really cool. And so every year we celebrate Defenders Day here. And there used to be a reenactment with fireworks and a fake bombardment of the fort. They stopped doing that, which is really sad, because I used to like the reenactment every year. Alrighty. Yeah, that's where the song comes from, right here in Baltimore. Baltimore also played a small part in the Civil War. Technically, the first shots of the Civil War were fired here in the streets of Baltimore. And there's a train station kind of right where I'm pointing, but you can't see it, called President Street Station, which includes a Civil War museum for Baltimore. And the President Street is named after President Abraham Lincoln, who did make his way through Baltimore rather quickly during the Civil War because there were threats to his life coming through Baltimore in April of 1862. So yeah, what a great view today. It's just such a sunny day. Now we're looking up Calvert Street here. And far in the distance, far in the distance, there's a monument in the middle of Calvert Street. And that's a monument to the War of 1812. There are also streets in Baltimore named after points in the battle and people in the battle, famous generals and leaders. And then the two individuals who were the first to die, I believe, in Baltimore, in the Battle of Baltimore. Their names were Wells and McComas, and there's a monument to them up off of Central Avenue, but there are streets named after them. So there's Wells Street and McComas Street down in South Baltimore. So yes, so thank you for asking the question. I could go on and on and on about the War of 1812, but I won't do that. Not today. I'm just enjoying the sunshine, and now I will have to go back to work. Make our way up here. Take another good look at the Constellation, our frigate, our personal Baltimore frigate. Love that word. And take a look at the harbor. Hey, Daryl. Look how pretty. What a great day we have today here. This is the Baltimore Inner Harbor. And I'm on my lunch break. That's Federal Hill. And as we pan to the north, that's called Harbor East. That is the National Aquarium, which is a fantastic attraction. There's the Baltimore Trade Center and the USS Constellation, which is a frigate. And I love to say the word frigate. I'm just taking a little lunch break, Daryl. I hope you're having a great day. It's cold. It's, I'm going to guess, like 38, 39. Oh, good. You see bulbs on the trees. Oh, my gosh. How do you get buds on the trees? Not ready for that here yet. But at least the ice is melted. The harbor's not frozen. So we've been above freezing for a good week after being, like, we're usually not as cold as we have been this winter. So everything here is starting to thaw out too. It's just great to see the sun. So I came out for lunchtime to grab some sun. Do a little walk. 36. Oh, wow. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's 30, 38 or 39 here, but the wind is super cold. I should have put my gloves on, but they're in my bag if I need them. Hey, Jay, how are ya? Hey, I got a sunny day for a lunch trip. I'm working up here in Baltimore today, and I decided to take a walk on the harbor. Look how beautiful it is. It's not warm, but it's a sunny day. I'll take what I can get. Take what I can get. It's cold. It's quite cold. Yep. All right, I'll make my way back to my office. Up here for a day, which works out well because it's Valentine's Day. So I'm going to drop some treats off at my parents' house after work because they're literally 5 minutes from here. I could have walked here from their house, but it was way too cold this morning. So I did drive. Yep. Jay, did you watch the film yet? I watched it like 3 nights ago. And I read the short story. The short story was great. I kind of wish now that I hadn't seen the film before, and that I had read the short story first, because the short story is even slightly more interesting than the film. Good. And yeah, I'm all for starting a little earlier. So tomorrow, on Film Club, we're going to start early tomorrow. So East Coast, we would normally start at 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jay. And we're starting at 1 tomorrow. So we're going to start at 1 so that everyone can enjoy Valentine's Day weekend a little bit. And our film is Rear Window. So a nice... See, I don't know if we call it a mystery. And that's part of my conversation we'll have. Like, I think of a traditional mystery as something has happened and you're trying to figure out who done it. But in this case, you're actually trying to figure out if something bad happened. You're trying to understand what you saw or what the main character saw. So is that a mystery or is that a thriller? Well, Jay, since you mentioned Ironsides, Mr. Thorvald or Mr. Lars, that is Raymond Burr. That's the guy who played Ironsides is the guy across the street, the guy across the courtyard. Yeah, Raymond Burr. That's him. I wouldn't have known it unless I looked at the the cast list. So interesting. Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Oh, yeah, and Perry Mason, too. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me during my lunch break. I'm going to head back over to my office and finish my day. Go visit the parents. Just so happy that I had some sunny weather. I could get out and enjoy this. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Check us out on Film Club tomorrow. If you haven't done your homework, do your homework. Everyone, take care.